It says a lot that this team is ready to make a splash, that Raheem wants to make a splash. And what's funny is, given sort of the style of offense that they're going to run, they actually made like 2 splashes, Ron Burgundy style, with
Yeah.
like cannonball level splashes. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
everybody come over here and see how good I look type of thing.
Please have your attention. I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story. And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen. Cannonball!
Yeah.
They got 2 quarterbacks
Yep.
this offseason, really. And I'm really excited about where this offense is going. I know you're really excited about this quarterback situation.
Yeah.
A lot of people are pissed about it,
am.
but what do you think?
Okay, I want Falcons fans to walk with me for a minute, because the more I think about this pick, and even in the moment, I honest to God, I liked it. But I want Falcons fans to walk with me for a minute. I understand the context. I understand that you just gave $100 million to Kirk Cousins. That's not lost on me. I get it. It doesn't make logical sense as far as a win now move. Frankly, it wasn't a win now move. It was a let's lock down the next 10 years of our franchise move. And I think that's a lot more brilliant than getting a high-end wide receiver, right? I don't think this is a position. I don't think the Falcons are in a position right this second to make a Super Bowl push. So when I look at the roster they have, and I look at the draft that we just had, I mean, obviously it was like an all-time tackle draft. It was an all-time offense draft. We didn't even see the first defensive player go until 15, right? So you don't have any generational defensive players in this draft, is what the field determined. And that was proven, again at pick 8 when they decided to take Michael Penix. And I know everybody's like, oh, we could have gotten this, we could have gotten that. Okay, but think about it like this. The worst season that Kirk Cousins has ever had is 7-9. That pick right there is the pick you had last year. That's pick 8, right? At best, depending on how schedules fall, how you might have beaten a team, whatever, you're picking anywhere from pick 8 to pick probably 11, right? So let me walk you through a list. Let me walk you through a list of names. So since 2010, listen to these names: Tim Tebow, Blaine Gabbert, Christian Ponder, Teddy Bridgewater, Johnny Manziel, Paxton Lynch, Pat Mahomes, Deshaun Watson, Josh Rosen, Lamar Jackson, Dwayne Haskins, Jordan Love, Justin Fields, Mac Jones, Kenny Pickett. Those are all the quarterbacks that were taken after pick 8. So 4 of 15 hit. And obviously one of the 4 is arguably the best quarterback of all time, right? So it's not crazy to get.
The success rate gets lower after each.
The
first pick, the second 100%. Pick, the third pick, in terms 100%. Of quarterbacks, it gets lower after every pick.
I mean, there's a lot. There's a lot of busts on that list. So my thought process when looking at that is that the GM and the coach and the owner, they all got together and said, you know what? Fuck it. This is best player available situation. We can have the quarterback. We can get out of the Kirk Cousins deal in 2 years. He's 36, coming off an Achilles. He can stabilize this position for us. He can be that veteran voice in the locker room,
which is all he is, by the way. More on that later.
He's 100%.
Yep.
And now I have this guy who, by all means, should have probably been the second overall pick in the draft, but fell to your lap at 8. I understand that he's had injuries. I understand that he's on the older side. He threw for 1,000 more yards than any other quarterback did. He had the second most touchdowns last year. He made it to the championship game. He was first in completions, first in attempts, and he's a fucking baller. And he's been a baller. We have not seen him be injured since he was in Indiana, which was, 3 years ago now? Yeah. His legs are fine. And you know what's even more fine? His arm. And you got to be able to have when you're a quarterback, you want maturity. You don't want somebody who comes in and doesn't have the mental skills to be a franchise quarterback. So somebody like Michael Penix, who already has maturity, who already has shown that he has a lot of decorum, gets to come in and learn under a guy like Kirk Cousins, who is pretty much known for that. And then after 2 years, you can, if Kirk's not getting it done, you can bounce him out, you save a bunch of money, and you bring in this kid. And you have the established pieces around him. So for all the Michael Lombardis out there who are saying, oh, this is such a travesty of a pick, it's not going to work. I don't know. I mean, I like the pick. I think we'll be I think we'll be calling them geniuses in 3-4 years because they will have an established quarter. They won't have to. They have too much offensive and, frankly, at this point, defensive talent to be a top 2 or 3 team, barring some
They're not
injury,
picking in
right?
the top 10 anytime soon.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. They're not.
Yeah.
And they might pick in the top 10, but they're not going to pick at 1, 2, 3, or 4, barring any Kirk Cousins injury. But even at that point, if Kirk gets injured again, you bring Michael Penix in,
Absolutely.
and then it's
which is very
okay.
possible.
Well, we wasted $100 million on Kirk Cousins, but fuck it, we got this kid on a rookie deal, so it doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. So I don't know. I frankly I think the pick is 5D chess. I think people want the win now pick always, which I do understand. But you gotta be able to see the forest through the trees here with this pick, and you have to look at your franchise and the stabilization it's going to have in 3 or 4 years. So, and that's my take on it. I don't know, and
no, it's a great take. I mean, I completely agree with you, and for as much heat as I catch for telling you guys that Kirk Cousins isn't a star player,
yeah,
you know who else doesn't think that Kirk Cousins is a star player? The Falcons front office.
Oh, that's real.
Yeah,
that's
but you
real.
know who else didn't re-sign him?
Yeah.
The Vikings. Look, here's the reality on Kirk Cousins, because so much gets mixed up in the hype and the reality versus fiction, narrative versus reality. You guys all liked him on the Netflix quarterback show. I get it. I think he's an incredibly likable guy. He's a Michigan guy where we come from. I always rooted for Kirk Cousins. Even when he was a Viking, it was like, I hope Kirk has a good career. I never wanted to see him get hurt. I never wanted to see him fail like I did over and over and over and over and over again on primetime games. You know what nobody has ever said in the history of watching the NFL? Oh, shit, my team just made the playoffs. I'm so excited. However, I'm super deflated because the other team has Kirk Cousins as their quarterback. Nobody is scared of Kirk Cousins.
No,
he's not a star. He's a good quarterback. He's an efficient quarterback. He has been a starter in this league full-time because he played a few years under Robert Griffin. He kind of split time. He played some games. From when he's been a full-time starter, 2015 until now, he has 1 playoff win. 1.
4 losses.
He has 4 Pro Bowls, so he can have a good season. And if he has a good season for you guys and stays healthy this year, your team is going to be in a good position. So it is a good signing. It's a huge upgrade from the absolute garbage heap that they were trotting out last year with Desmond Ridder, who's not even really an NFL quarterback in my opinion. Marcus Mariota and Taylor Heineke, right? These guys are backups. So it's a great signing, but you didn't sign Matthew Stafford. You didn't sign Lamar Jackson. You didn't sign this talent of a player that is so good that there's no reason that they can't bring in another guy. And for all the concern with Aaron Rodgers in New York, Kirk Cousins is also coming off an Achilles. Kirk Cousins is going to be 36 years old. And when he was in his prime and when he wasn't coming off an Achilles, all we ever said was, yeah, Kirk's pretty good. I wish he was my quarterback, but you only said that if you didn't have Lamar, if you didn't have Josh Allen, if you didn't have Patrick Mahomes. You guys, you're not the Lakers signing Shaquille O'Neal in 1996.
No.
I say to the fans of Orlando, thank you for helping me become who I am. I'm going to miss you guys.
He isn't some blockbuster signing. He's a good quarterback, but he's not a star. So, in my opinion, Penix was the second best quarterback on a talent basis in this entire draft behind JD5. He throws a better ball than I've ever seen Kirk throw. He's got more upside, and he's not going to be expected to start right away. So this is a win-win-win for you guys.
Totally agree.
So I'm with you, dude. I completely agree, and I'm surprised to see how many Falcons fans are pissed off about this because I think there's just a bit of a confusion, and I blame the media, not you guys, by the way. They're lying to you about where Kirk is. I've watched him for 10 years. He's a good quarterback, period. He's a solid starter. That's what he is.